get into it. And welcome to Nat1Fun, ladies and gentlemen. Glad to see you guys here for another week of horror, terror, you know, D&D as well. I hope you guys had a great week. I know I had a pretty decent one. Was able to build up a little makeup for the sponsor of Dirt Cheap Dungeons, and a little preview that I'll show you guys during the break of a picture that I took of the video, kind of like a still shot, but of the finished project. Man, it's nice. The whole set, the whole thing that they sent me is nice, but I need to go through and really organize everything, because it probably took me more time to like search through the pieces and try and find the ones that I wanted than it did to even put the whole project together. So I definitely need to go through it and figure that out. But to fix my goofy tie, and need to talk about announcements. So for announcements, we need to go through several things. If someone doesn't remind me during this next week to put a link to our merchandise, I'm gonna kick my own butt. Because I keep doing it.
I got you.
And here is the link to our merchandise. Guys, we have merch. I know it doesn't seem that way because I never seem to have it ready and steady, but I swear we do. As a matter of fact, here on the screen you can see an example of it. Here are some shirts, some goodies, pants, sweats, bags, phone covers, leggings, socks, whatever you can think of. We probably have a print of it somewhere. Oh, and let me just tell you, I actually just recently myself got the mask in. I ordered a bunch, so it'll be coming in here soon. But hold on.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Sorry, that was just the first thing that came to my brain.
You're not the only one. I just realized I was muted while singing along with you.
Yes!
Alright, that's the last time I let the kids in charge of the mic.
Hello, my baby.
That,
Hello, my honey.
Pretty awesome mask. Check it out.
Nice.
Got I can actually do this too. I'm gonna zoom over to this one so get a nice view of it. It is very high quality. These are like extremely rubber bands on the side, and you can see here as well that it has a dual layer thing, so you can, if you have a filter or something like that, if you wanted to, you could put some sort of filter in between there. That way you get a little bit better protection if you wanted to. But it is made of like super high quality fabric. You can see it's very durable, of course, like I was saying. But I'll tell you what, this thing is probably the most comfortable mask that I've worn, being that it is super soft on your face. It's extremely soft. But yeah, it's a cool mask. I was wondering, I was like a mask, that's great and all. Mask with the logo, that's pretty badass. And I looked at the price, I'm like, yeesh. Like, can I really spend that much? It's a reusable mask for what, $14, $15, something like that. Super high quality. It's not bad. I thought it was gonna be worse. It's not bad at all. But yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that I'm gonna be showing off in the near future. When it comes to merchandise, I've ordered a sticker, I've ordered some shirts, even a onesie for my son. So I got a lot of stuff coming in that you guys will see in the near future. Other than that, let's go into some stuff that we normally do, and that is giveaways. So, being that it is the third week of the month, let me turn down the music just a little bit. Being that it is the third week of the month, we do our giveaway, our dice giveaway for this month. And for this month, if we can just describe them a little bit, I have the picture already up and ready to go. If you want to just describe where they're from again.
They are a Kickstarter with Metallic Dice Games. This is their Unicorn Kickstarter, and they are Arctic Storm. Fairly appropriate for an Icewind Dale campaign, I think. And in order to qualify for the drawing, you have to be here at the break, and you have to be subscribed to the channel. Yes,
You've done it.
those two things.
Yeah,
Nailed it.
It's not that hard to get into the drawing. Okay, that's basically what it comes down to. Be a subscriber to the channel. Be here during the mid-game break, and you have your chance at winning these lovely, lovely dice with a pretty little print on it for the 20. I love it. And again, like she said, yeah, absolutely Icewind appropriate. So, not all our dice are going to be Icewind themed or anything like that, but they are absolutely wonderfully pretty, and they will always be wonderfully pretty. Now, as for the next month's dice drawing and everything like that, we will put up the next month's dice in the coming weeks. That way, you guys can prepare yourselves and decide whether or not subscribing is worth it for you. I hope it's worth it for you in the terms of just supporting the show, but of course, you know, if you're looking for free stuff outside of being, you know, the fact that you can have an Amazon Prime subscription for free, you know, you can win all kinds of sorts of stuff. So like, you know, this month we're doing dice. We'll do dice like every month, but on top of that, we may do stuff like from the sponsor. Maybe Dirt Cheap Dungeons will give us something to give away to you guys. Like I said, Dirt Cheap Dungeons gave us an incredible set that I will show off during the break and everything like that. But for now, we'll just have to keep that on the DL until we fully integrate it into our game. Other than that, really not too many announcements. I wanted to thank everybody for coming in yesterday for the DM prep for the Friday night prep game or prep sessions that I do, that you guys can come in and help prepare for the next day's session. So I wanted to thank those who came yesterday and hung out, showed you some neat stuff that's coming down the line and everything like that. As for that, we've covered pretty much everything when it comes to all our stuff that's going on. I can't think of anything else. What about you guys? You got anything? Alright, so as norm, we are going to go ahead and jump right into it, guys. Let me go ahead and turn off the music. Let's do this thing. right, and last we left off, first off, I want to say that introduction gets better and better every time I watch it, because it's like I get into the characters more and more, and we get to learn more and more about the characters, and it's just that more in depth, and it's like, oh, yeah, I know that character. Let's go. All right, so last we left off, we headed out for the morning to gather some supplies in order to figure out what had happened to these 4 fishermen out on the lake of Black Dinishir. Last they had heard, they had disappeared somewhere out on the lake, and even being told that they were presumed dead by a ghostly spirit that had taken over Ronaldo. They made their way to town hall to kind of figure out what their next step was, to be sure, and decided to just head straight into what they were doing. And in order to do so, they made their way down to the stables down at the southeast or southwestern part of town. Once there at the stables, they found the local stables woman and were talking to her and procured a sled. And she had an assortment of sled dogs and even axe beaks to sell, but the group decided that a sled would probably just be easiest and best for their current situation. So in doing so, they headed north. They set out, and as they set out, they noticed that probably taking the sled across the snow might be their best path. So taking the snowy path versus the icy path across the lake, they note that the terrain started to get really hilly, really rocky, and really dangerous really fast. As a matter of fact, eventually getting to a point where a large chasm was open in front of them, and a precarious ladder stretched across from one side to the other. After a bit of trying to figure out how they would get across, eventually one by one they started to cross this thing, even at one point taking the sleigh across via some ropes. The central point of interest, though, is as soon as Leodin attempted to cross after several people had done so, found herself in an extremely dangerous situation once the ladder had given way due to the amount of weight it had previously taken on. The ladder had weakened as soon as Leodin had stepped down into the center of it, as it snapped on the handles of either side, lowering the ladder and having it slide down. The team caught the ropes just in time in order to keep the ladder from falling, and barely enough time for Leodin to climb up the ladder on one side and make a jump for it. And in a very cliffhanger-like moment, Olanu jumps to her aid and catches her arm just as the ladder falls down and clatters down to its demise as it breaks apart, and Leodin hangs by a thread. As Leodin makes her way up the side and Olanu kind of grants her access across her back, they eventually make their way to a safe position and are able to ranger crawl with a rope the rest of the team members over. They eventually made their way down to an icy path that led down to the lake, and once there, they had seen a small craft, a small little boat that was filled with fisherman equipment and even empty what looked like bottles of ale. As they made their way forward, they saw a large cliffside with 4 large openings, 3 above them and 1 down following the ice path below. As soon as they made their way close, though, they heard a screech, and then soon after, a siren's song, as a group of harpies attempted to harass the group before they entered this cave. Dealing with them in a very gruesome manner, they were able to dispatch one while the other attempted and succeeded in running away and up over the mountaintop. They made their way into the cavern, and once in the cavern, they started to hear the cackles and hums of a strange creature in the back of the caves. Once reaching a certain point in the caves, they noticed a large skeletal creature encased in ice. As they made their way carefully past it, they eventually found themselves in a room in which was lit by a small glowing orb, and an awfully old and disgusting looking hag was stirring a pot. And once the characters entered, she made a plea of trying to figure out what they were doing there to begin with. But of course, all good things come to an end as she attacked the party. As the party went into combat, several people were frightened, of course, of the hag's looks in general. The frightening appearance of the hag brought several to their knees, and even sending Olanu straight to the ground with 0 HP at one point due to the utter terror that filled through her. Suddenly, a firebolt coming from Kinrava being reversed into a lightning strike by the hag herself sends 2 of our party members to the ground. But in a bout of wonderful teamwork and exhilarating action, we find ourselves completely bisecting the hag into pieces by Olanu's blow, and waking the large skeletal structure in the other room. Eventually making its way into the main chamber, it attacked the party, but luckily as time had taken its toll on it, its HP wasn't what it used to be, and grimly sent it to an early, well, I was going to say an early grave, a very, 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 very late grave, as a matter of fact, as this undead creature was blown to bits by Grimly's holy power. And that is where we will pick up today's session. Every time. All right. So with that, we'll go ahead and throw some music on and some background. All right. So, to reiterate, as you look around the room, you can see now the, of course, bisected hag lying in a pool of blackish, grayish blood, and the orb that had lit the room previously with a warm orange glow had excuse me, was it a green glow? I think it was a green glow, but it goes out and it disappears, leaving the room completely and utterly dark. What do you guys do?
I cast Detect Magic.
Okay. So, during this time, you cast Detect Magic. Okay? What are you... let's see. You are just there to the north. You note that the large cauldron gives off a strong amount of magical aura. And aura being that of conjuration.
Nothing else is glowing at all, like nothing on the hag or such?
No, the hag, you look at the hag and it's just an old bunch of rags and disgusting looking goo.
This is gonna sound really dark. Is the head of the hag, like, I know it got cut right down the middle, but is it like 2 pieces of a head still left?
I mean, there are 2 pieces of a head still left, sure, if you want to look at it that way, but like in a disgusting manner, like the innards of the head are hanging out, and like tongue and brain are kind of just spilled out everywhere.
Okay, Kinrava's going to walk over to the cauldron and then look over to the group and say, perhaps... Oh, this is disgusting. Maybe you should take those 2 pieces of the head back, just so that we can prove what sort of creature we actually had to contend with in here, since I get the impression we may not get all of the fishermen's bodies back, and that guard captain seems pretty stingy.
Okay.
Are the bodies all here, or pieces of them?
Well, you look around, yeah, and you see a pile of corpses next to the cauldron.
Leodin, could you do that thing with the light again?
I cast light, but I just kind of reach down and pick up a rock and cast light, and then just hand it to whoever as I'm like sliding down the wall.
Yep.
Here, there, whoever, carry whatever. I'm gonna sit for a second.
How about if we just
On-
take a moment to just catch our breath while I study this cauldron?
Sounds like a plan.
And I'm going
Good.
to spend some time casting Identify on it, taking out my book and, boogly boogly moogly all over it just to
Sure.
cast the spell Identify.
While Kin is playing Witch Doctor on the cauldron, the light that Leodin places on the pebble and tosses to whoever catches it illuminates the room now in a way that the wisp had not previously. And illuminating the cavern or the area that you are in, you notice that not just like the rest of the cavern was filled with ice and everything covering the walls even entirely themselves. This room doesn't necessarily have all the ice covering it. As a matter of fact, these walls seem to be just barren rock, with bits of moonlight kind of shining through just barely enough to even get a glimpse of things. But with the glowing red aura that is now, or excuse me, the glowing, golden aura that is the light that fills the room, you notice upon the walls some scratches and scribblings of different scenes, horrible scenes. Some of which depict the hag in different manners of murder.
Did anybody else notice that light? Kind of dissipated when she died.
Some form of magic.
I'm not sure what that was.
Looked different than the light that Laodin is casting.
Yeah.
Grimly, if you could go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Uh, 10.
10, okay. The scrawlings on the walls there, they are interesting, but you don't seem to see anything out of the ordinary outside of just this horrible creature killing and maiming people.
I'll kneel down next to Leodin and sort of start checking her wounds. How are you feeling?
A little like death. Just a little like death, though. I don't remember the last time I've done anything like that. And, whew. I could definitely use a sit or a sleep or something like it.
Grimly, can you do anything?
No, that fight really tapped me out. Perhaps we
You
just
guys.
take a rest.
Yeah. Do we want to rest and finish checking the rest of this cave, or do we want to just head out?
I don't know about you, but that's a level of evil I've never seen before.
I think... I don't know if that's the first thing we meet in the cave. I would be very interested to know what's further back in the cave. And are we sure that any of these pieces are the fishermen we're supposed to bring back? Do any of
We
them
gotta bring
look
back
like
something.
treasure corpses?
We could see if we can identify fresher bodies.
Yeah, I'll walk over to the pile of corpses and trying to check if any look more fresh.
Yep. The smell of like putridness fills your nose as you walk by the cauldron. As you look inside, you see that it's a warm, bubbling brew of bits of skin, muscle torn from the bone as it floats to the surface and then falls down just to float up again soon after. You make your way past that to a large pile of corpses in the corner. And the pile of corpses looks to be relatively fresh to begin with. You walk over and you can clearly see that none of these bodies seem to be wasting away in any sort of manner. The wounds themselves look fresh, still blood dripping from many of them. As the hag, while watching for a moment, you saw like pull out one of the fisherman's innards. And it just caused just a horrible mess of goo below you. But you look and you can take a head count and you see 4 different humanoids.
It looks like these are the bodies. I'll turn away and walk away quickly.
Yeah. Abel, while you're looking those over, roll me a investigation check, please.
That is an 18.
18. As you are searching them over and kind of like, tilting heads over to the side to see, faces and everything like that, one of the corpses that lie on top of this pile falls. And as it falls, one of its arms lands on the snow or the ice next to you and has its fist clamped down on something. And as soon as it hits, it unclamps its hand naturally, and you can see in its hand is a balled up piece of parchment of something.
I'll reach down and pick it up and start to unfurl it.
Okay, and you unfurl it and take note to a strange looking map. One that is very familiar in terms of what it looks like, or what it seems to be at least. And you can see on roll 20, I'll put it up for you, and then also on the stream, I'll put it up for you guys. This is what you see. And then on the stream, actually, I'll take you over to the battle scene. And put it as... Ooh. There we go. You unfurl it, and now you can see in front of you a map of what looks like Lactinishire. You see Easthaven to the south. You see Caerdinival to the northwest. And you see some strange symbols scattered across the lake, and even what looks to be some sort of key or something to the right.
Do I recognize the language?
The language is not a language that you know. No.
Okay. I'll walk it over to Kinrava and sort of show it to her. Can you make any sense of this? One of the fishermen had this in their hands.
She's holding up a hand because she's still focusing on the cauldron first.
Oh, sorry.
Speaking
I'll walk
backwards
over.
and in tongues.
I'll walk over to Leodin and show it to her. Leodin, you're well traveled. Can you make any sense of this?
Well, it looks like where we are, but I don't think I recognize. I don't think I recognize the writing.
Let's see. I'm gonna say maybe Abel might be able to go ahead and roll me a... Why don't you go ahead and roll me a history check?
Oh boy.
I'm sorry.
12.
12. You have no idea what these things are. Yeah, they do kind of resemble like dwarvish runes, but that's just in terms of like angular like makings and markings, but they don't make any type of sense when it comes to a language.
Grimly, Iceheart, I don't know if you want to come take a look at this, and I'll sit down next to Leodin against the stone wall.
Yep.
Yeah,
Iceheart,
I'll
if
go
you-
sit next to him.
Okay. What are you doing, Iceheart?
I'll go take a look at it.
Okay. Iceheart, you can go ahead and roll me a history check.
I'm sorry. Cauldron
That's a 6.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
You can barely read common as it goes. So these runes don't make really any sense to you whatsoever.
I know
Can I?
dwarvish and giant.
Roll with advantage. And that's only because I forgot what her languages were. So
Oh shit. Sorry. Try that again inside of
Oh,
the
I
box.
also know Dwarvish.
16.
okay. So this is not
And I'm a
me
dwarf.
like pandering to the crowd here or pandering to the players. This is me forgetting that she knew some languages. So because you know giant, you have a small inkling that this may be some kind of frost giant language. But this is specific to frost giant to where it doesn't make any sense to you, but the lettering and the markings and the way they are and stuff like that, they give you a hint to be like, oh yeah, that's kind of what giants like, right?
This is a different form of giant than what I know.
That's a treasure at the bottom.
That is in common, yes.
Oh, a treasure map.
Strange that they would use giant. It might be frost giant. I wonder if there are any books at the library that might help.
Would I know if there's any books at the library that might help?
Maybe. But Kin, your spell goes off. Playing Witch Doctor for the moment.
Oh, okay.
And as you finish up your Oogla Boogla, you now know that this is a very powerful magic item. As you stare at it, you can see that, of course, visually, you see embossing on its side. Images of satyrs and nymphs in repose, holding ladles. The cauldron comes with a lid and has side handles upon it. And it sits on 5 little clawed feet that keep it from tipping over. The cauldron is about 4 feet wide and has a mouth about 3.5 feet in diameter and weighs around 50 pounds when it's empty. You note that this is a cauldron of plenty. If water is poured into this cauldron and stirred for 1 minute, it transforms into a hearty, hot stew, which can provide 1 nourishing meal for up to 4 people per gallon. The stew remains hot while in the cauldron, then cools naturally after it's removed. The outside of the cauldron remains safe to touch despite the heat of the stew. The cauldron can create stew 3 times a day. It then ceases to function until the next day when it regains all of its uses. All in all, it makes food for about 360 people a day.
Wow.
By the pits. That's a good find. We're taking the cauldron.
How much does it weigh?
More than I can carry.
Hopefully not with that juice in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. There's probably body parts in there. You should probably tip that out.
If you
Okay.
tip it out, can you tip it out somewhere else and not in here?
This is
Grimly,
an
can you help
enchanted
me?
cauldron of plenty. This is a very powerful magic item that can provide food for over 300 people a day.
That's nearly all of Tamerlane.
I think
Yeah, that
we
would-
may have just found something to pay for our travels and much, much more for the rest of our stay in Icewind.
Could also keep it. Might serve us well.
I don't think I can actually change the size of this thing, which means we'd have to haul this around all the time.
Fair point.
And it would do
Although,
the people a lot of good.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, we don't have to turn it over right away. If you could give me some time to study this thing, now I have ideas. First of all, we should probably tip the... I'm pretty sure I can see a
Yeah.
leg in here somewhere. We should probably tip this out.
I'm gonna spend some time wrapping the bodies up.
Okay.
How big is this cauldron?
4 feet wide at its widest.
How many gallons does this thing hold? Like
30.
Oh, well, fair enough.
I'll give you some help moving this.
Yeah, full of liquid and it's 50 pounds empty. You're looking at upwards of maybe 300 pounds, 350 pounds.
Oh,
something
never
like that
mind.
when it's full.
She bench presses it.
Alana, we really don't have time for this.
Maybe we could pour that out down that
yeah.
ice slope we had to come in through. The frozen waterfall.
I'm gonna go take a look around the corner. It goes down, right? Not up.
Correct. When you go around the corner there, it's just a ramp. I'm gonna move us over to our battle scene
right
then,
here.
that way everybody can. All right. So where do you want to move?
Right here.
Okay. Yeah. There and some area. Boop-a-doop, boop-a-doop. You don't have dark vision, correct?
Nope.
Okay. You see a dark cave. No. With the light that Leodin has provided, you barely see into this area, but you do see a little bit. And a little bit is pretty much all you get as the darkness kind of envelops the area, being that it's not very bright in here. Like I said, all that's there is the looks of a bit of moonlight shining through. But I will say that what you see currently is a large, clear bit of ice that looks to have formed alongside the river that flows out of this cave system. And below the icy surface, you can see, excuse me, hold on. Excuse me, sorry. You can see 4 giant skeletons. You see large, giant skeletons. The faint outlines of their forms barely visible, some of which aren't even fully skeletonized, some of which still have bits of their tattered armor upon them.
Yeah. She's going to take the cauldron up there and dump it over the side.
Okay. Yeah, you dump it over the side, and it fills the surface area a bit, and you can see that a bit of steam rises from the surface of the ice until eventually the liquid that you had thrown upon the surface freezes itself. Slowly but surely is beginning to freeze as it frosts over.
She'll carry the cauldron back down once
Sure.
it's emptied. And tell Ken she might want to clean it the way she does her hair.
Okay. Leodin, during this time, while you are giving yourself a good amount of time to rest, you kind of lean up against the wall and you put your head back. You close your eyes and you like look over, and with your passive perception, as you look across the walls and kind of look just timidly at the party, but you catch something out of the corner of your eye in against the wall, and you see what looks to be a drawing of a large ship that seems to be tilted at like a 45-degree angle. And on top of the ship, you see a figure of a man being held up at the throat by this hag, and a large chest being tossed overboard.
How old do some of the drawings look? Like specifically that one?
Yes. Old.
Cool. Huh.
Yes.
I wonder if that's the little white lady's husband.
From
He
the
was
song.
a captain, right? Yeah.
Quite likely, unfortunately. Actually, that actually might mean something as well, perhaps. This is probably a very, very long shot, but perhaps the ghost may actually know where that treasure is buried, or at the very least where it's located on the lake bed. And given her the knowledge of both who killed her beloved and also that they have been avenged, may give her the idea to surrender some more information about that. But then we'd need to go back to the halfling, and then he would need to perform his ritual, and then
Do we know how long he was staying?
I'm
Was
pretty
it
sure
just for the festival?
he never leaves that place.
Oh, all right.
You don't get a portrait on the wall of the tavern by, being an occasional visitor.
I mean, I never got a portrait in a tavern.
And you're much better than he is, so
Well, thank you. Are there any other interesting pictures that catch my eye?
There are all
Other than just
sorts
murder
of
and
interesting-
mayhem?
Yeah, it's murder and mayhem.
Okay.
Maybe we can go out to the lake later tonight and just call to her, and maybe she'll show up.
Possibly, but something tells me she's more than likely to try and possess one of us in order to speak. Oh, that drawing is very graphic.
Right?
Oh,
The ship
I did not know a person could bend that way.
They're really interesting.
The ship looks
You guys
frozen
never
into the
seen
lake.
a crag cat attack?
The ship does not look frozen in the lake. No, I mean, it looks like it's capsizing.
Besides, once again, we have no means of getting down there safely, but it's something to keep in mind for. I'm not sure. I don't even know if Easthaven has any salvage equipment or anything to help us get down there either.
Only we had some oil juice.
Are you talking about your beard oil?
No.
Oh.
Speaking of which, there's a little bit of singeing right there when you... Although... have an idea for this cauldron, but after I'm done studying it and possibly taking a few tracings, Leodon, maybe the two of us could go to the Speaker of Easthaven and actually get a good amount of money for this afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious
Yeah.
if something like this might be able to get your name out of that pot.
That is a very good point.
Would have to haul
It's
it
a
all the way back
sizable-
to Brinchander.
Yes, but it would be a sizable contribution.
You'd feed a lot of starving people with this.
Yes. Maybe
True.
they might even stop killing people for no reason.
I doubt that, but if nothing else, I think it's something to keep in mind of. Easthaven does have a good amount of coin usually flowing through it, simply due to its more, I want to say, less legal ideas, but
Technically legal there.
we would have to think about. While it's always a risk that Leodon's name could get pulled out, there's also a very high chance it won't, simply due to how many people have their names in that pot. So we'd have to weigh up between either asking for a favor or asking for coin. And depending on how much coin we could get offered to literally save an entire town from starvation is something to think of.
Yeah.
Although the moment the word gets out that we have this, well, it's not going to be pretty.
Sorry, everybody. My headset's going crazy. For anybody listening on the stream. So Alana, you kind of wheel the cauldron back in. It is now empty. Grimly, you finish up covering up the corpses, kind of pile them up in a row in order to get them to be easily accessible.
So again, do we want to finish exploring this area, or do we want to head back with the bodies?
Well, how about if we take a small rest just to get some of our wind back in our lungs and spells back in our books, and then we can have a bit more of a peek around.
Okay.
Okay. You guys want to take a short rest? You are more than welcome to.
Yeah, we'll load the bodies on the cart. Load the bodies on the cart.
The cart is
take a short
outside. So if you guys want to go outside, then you can do that too, as well, if you want. You moving the bodies though will prevent a short rest, so you'd have to move the bodies first, or after.
All right.
For short rest.
Let's move them
While
afterwards.
everyone
Short rest.
is resting, I'm going to take out my mandolin and play a song of rest.
Yes.
And everybody gets 1d6 extra.
Ooh.
Excellent. So you can, of course, roll your regular hit dice to recover any HP, up to 2 hit dice at this point. But of course, you don't have to roll both of them, but add on top of that an additional 1d6.
Is that extra hit points or just hit point recovery?
Extra hit point. Well, I mean, it's hit point recovery.
Oh wait,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Can I take a short rest and not roll a hit dice?
Yeah, absolutely. You can take a short rest, take a minimum of 0 and a maximum of your level of hit dice.
Yeah, I'm at full health because my party is so generous with their healing.
Abel did
The
get
star
a
player.
large bout of healing at the end of that session.
In that case, I will use Arcane Recovery to get back 2 spell slots.
Hey, you do so. The echoes of a mandolin reverberate off the icy walls of this cavern. At times, you feel like there are several people playing at the same time as parts of the mandolin come back towards your eardrums from the original strum. Leodin, go ahead and roll me a performance check.
Okay. That is a 23.
Of course it is. And as you
I'm
play,
really good at my job.
you begin to notice that it's coming back to you at a perfectly spaced out interval, as if like bouncing off the same walls over and over again. You can like time the different strums. So you begin to play with your mandolin in a echoous kind of like synchronization, and everybody can take an additional 1d4 healing.
Hey.
Yeah.
Good, because I rolled a 1 with that d6.
Excuse me.
I'm
One
doing
more
great
hit
over
point.
here.
The acoustics in this room are primo. Is all I gotta say.
Let's get back to
I'm
full.
just sitting here enjoying the music.
Same.
Leodin, what's your HP pull up?
I just got all the way back up.
Okay.
Let's go.
Nice.
It was real low, guys.
All right. So after a rousing musical by Leodin, she ends on a long strum that reverberates several times before the fainting of the sound begins to echo out the front of the cave. And she kind of like opens her eyes as she was in the moment. And you guys finish a short rest.
Grimly and Olanu, while you two are moving the bodies, also take back those 2 pieces of the hag's head as well.
Okay.
I know it's a gruesome thing to ask, but frankly, it's never a bad idea to have proof of what we had to contend with in this cave.
Looking at the head, does it look like just an old woman's head, or does it look deformed
It's horrific.
like it was?
Like,
Okay.
it almost makes you scared to even look at it and pick it up. Like, that's how horrific it is. The magic that came out of it to enable it to fear you to death nearly still seems to emanate from its face, but not so much to where it actually has an effect.
Yeah. She'll just take her axe and chop through what's remaining of the neck pieces.
Yeah. Yeah, you can easily just detach it.
She throws both halves into the cauldron since it's going to. And we'll clean that later.
Yep.
It turns into food.
You look down in and there's just 2 rotisserie chickens at the bottom.
Oh.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's hag flavored.
I'm not
Oh.
sure I'm going to eat it.
No, it's a
Gross.
papaya. It's a papaya. Now we know. Now we know,
We know how he
had
got his
Where they come
papaya.
from.
witchcraft.
All right. So yeah, you can easily just take the pieces of hag with you.
Alright, I guess you... Do you really want to load all the bodies up into the cauldron?
No, that was just the bodies aren't going to fit in there.
I wrapped him
At
up.
least-
I'll just tie some rope to him and drag him along.
Alright, take the cauldron with you. This thing is practically priceless.
Okay.
The outside of the
So where are we
cauldron has
going?
like a goldish bronze tint to it, but it's like greened with patina.
I'll clean that cauldron later, and we should probably test it before we actually make any announcements or anything. I'll do that when we get back.
Yeah.
I would like to state as well that it's about 3 p.m. at this point.
How about if we try to explore the caves after they're done loading up the corpse wagon, for lack of a better term, I suppose?
Oh, I
Let
think
me-
so.
Then we can start heading back.
Okay, so you guys drag out the bodies the way you came. Okay, you have a bit of difficulty as you drop them down the 10-foot waterfall area, but with a bit of effort and some elbow grease, you make it so as you cross back out of the opening of the mouth of the cave and come out to see your cart next to the boat that still seems to be kind of rocking back and forth and knocking into some ice as you make your way out there.
Should we pull the cart into the cave just a little bit to kind of keep
Yeah.
wandering people from taking it?
Yeah,
Probably a good idea, yes.
Okay.
bring it in as
Just
far as we
kind
can.
Yeah, just pull it in a bit so people can't see it.
Okay, you pull it into the mouth of the cave.
We'll load everything up.
You load the
I
bodies
can
up
always have.
and the cauldron as well.
Mhm.
Okay. It's a very weird setup the way you have to do it. As a matter of fact, it would probably be in a way where the bodies are sitting up with their legs in like a V position, and you like set the next person up in the same V position, and you set the next person up until all four are stacked in front of each other, and then the cauldron sits gently between the last person's legs.
Are
And then everything is tied down with rope.
Yep. So messed up.
This is so fucked up.
You see, it's
What's
not
that?
so bad as they're not like lulling about like ragdoll wise. Their bodies are frozen essentially, and so you can kind of place them in their way like an action figure, if you will. Well, I'm trying to make it to where it's not as gross, but yeah, it's still pretty gross. All right, you pull the thing in. It's about 10-15 feet within the cave's mouth. What are you guys exploring? You guys can move your pieces now to represent the front of the cave, so you guys should be over here somewhere.
Okay.
I
and I'll take
didn't
us over.
follow them.
Okay,
Yeah, I
Leland,
wasn't
you're
gonna
still
follow
in the.
I wasn't
okay.
gonna follow them either.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
It is
Just
still.
go ahead and place your markers where you are currently.
I'm going to see if I can peek up and around here.
Where? Okay.
Like to actually like look out into that place to see what I can see.
Yep. As far as you can see, you kind of see this until your vision is cut off by angles.
Grimly, I'll put my back to the waterfall and give you a leg up.
Thanks.
Yep. Without an issue, Grimly, you fly through the air and land on your feet. On the other side.
Just his head hits the ceiling.
Don't tell anybody about this.
Just grab my hand.
Reach down and help her up.
All right. Well, you reach down to help her up, and she is fucking heavy as hell. Roll a strength athletics check, please.
Oh no.
Those pythons should still be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
13.
You have a lot of trouble pulling Olanu up, but eventually Iceheart is able to grab onto the wall and the top of the waterfall and help herself up for the remainder.
Okay.
How are you feeling, Alana? Or Iceheart, I'm sorry.
It's fine. Just holding on to childish things. You can call me Alanu. It's fine. I'm fine. That rest really helped. I didn't understand what Leodin meant when she said she was good with words, but that's interesting. I've never known anyone who could heal, I guess, that way.
It's interesting. You took a pretty hard hit. You just dropped
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
That was awful. But good came out of it. So,
Glad that you made it.
so
Definitely use your help. Hopefully we don't run into anything else like that back here.
I would like to say,
Something tells me it's just the beginning.
I would like to say, as a sense of, to get an understanding of Leodin's healing versus a paladin's or a cleric's or something like that. It's more healing of the soul, of the heart, healing of the will to fight, that kind of stuff. It is less of healing like wounds on your body, closing wounds. It does have somewhat of a magical effect to do that, but it is not nearly that of a cleric or something like that using the holy light to heal and bandage wounds. Leodins and all bards in this world are mostly, again, there for a boost of confidence and a boost of glory and a boost of everything you can possibly think of that would enable someone to continue fighting even in dire straits.
We're definitely an interesting group.
Yeah.
Well-
Anyway, let's go meet up with them. You can see in the dark, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just follow you.
I'll light a torch for you.
Thanks.
Hey, you light the torch. You guys doing in the Haggy room?
I will stand up and reach down to give Leodin a hand and standing up as well.
I take his hand and stand and stretch.
You feeling better?
Yes. Did I just play with my echo?
Yeah, that was astonishing.
I'm pretty amazing.
You are.
Huh.
You are that.
Sorry that I've never been able to do something like that because I don't remember ever being in a cave like this, and so I just was doing it all of a sudden, and okay, anyway, that was great. Is everyone else feeling? Are you feeling better? You feeling
I feel
good?
great. Thank you
Great.
for shoving that potion in my mouth.
You're welcome.
I'll pay you back for it.
There's a lot
No.
of more frozen corpses in the next room, for the record. She's going to call back. I can send. Oh right. Omen's dead. Yeah, I've no way of scouting this, really.
No.
I can scout, but I can't see
Just
in the
gonna
dark
cast
like you can.
Fireball on Hag's corpse again, just for good measure. She's really pissed her owl is dead.
It like lights her clothes on fire that she had currently on, and just bits of flesh and everything like that just basically burns down to a cinder.
That's for my owl.
I'll come up and stand next to Kinrava.
Don't have control over my token.
No? You should.
I figured.
Change and then change.
I had the same issue when I first started it. I had to open up my laptop to use Roll20.
There we go.
Okay,
All right.
sure, why not? All I did was change it to something else and change it back. Alright, works. Turn it off and turn it back on.
There does seem to be an awful lot of corpses in this room. I'm not entirely sure why, but considering what happened the last time we saw one of these delightful individuals.
Kin and Olanu, please make an intelligence history check, please.
Oof. Okay. Not my best stat. 10.
24.
There we go.
Kin, this is remarkably familiar to one of the stories you read in the library of the sacrificial ending to an old ice or frost giant's life. A suicidal pit, if you will. It is their idea of crossing into the next realm.
Perhaps the fisherman came here and found that map.
I have a feeling the fisherman came in here and met the hag and her giant bone friend.
That is very likely.
But
You went
this is reminding me of a story from Tomlin's library. I don't think these will attack us. But who wants to test the theory?
Why not? I've almost died twice today. Let's go.
Just gonna use divine sense real quick. See if there's anything living or undead here.
You do not sense anything as your divine sense goes off.
We should be alright.
You step upon the ice. As you step upon the ice, it is quite eerie. As you look down, you can see the undead, or you can see the dead eyes of some of time's lost frost giants staring back up at you blankly.
Well, they aren't dead, so...
To the north, you can see a bit of an opening that leads into a very small, maybe no more than 15 centimeter high opening that allows the water to pour in from one area to the next. And on the right, you just see a small landing of snow or ice that makes up the end of this tunnel.
I see anything back there?
No, nothing besides ice and snow.
Let's try heading to the west.
You head around to the west part of the cave, and as you do, you see it, of course, winds a little bit until it winds around the bend, and you see above you an icy bridge about 20 feet above you that leads from left to right above you.
That probably connects to some of the other entrances we saw from outside.
Where it
How high
leads.
up-
Or I thought, if you jump, can you get to the bridge?
How high up is it?
I don't know, maybe
20
like
feet.
20 feet.
20 feet.
She could probably throw one of you up there.
Oh,
I could try.
Emphasis on the you.
I understood.
It's probably not a good idea.
I mean, but fine. Alright, whatever.
We could use the pittance and try to climb up.
We could always just go out to the cave and try and come in one of the other entrances rather than risk trying to climb up.
Those were pretty
wasn't
high
there
up.
a ramp?
Does anybody have any rope left?
No, mine's...
The cavern entrances outdoors didn't seem necessarily hard to get into. It was, they did have a bit of height to them, about 20 to 30 feet apiece, but it was not a sheer cliff wall. It is a kind of angled wall, if you will, and not super angled or anything, but it's just not straight up and down 90 degrees. And there's a bit of rocky face to the wall for easy climbing. You noticed this, of course, when you were fighting the harpies. One, of course, fell and hit the rocky cliff, and your weapons hit it, breaking because it was so rocky.
Let's go try one of the other entrances.
Yeah, I think I might have a javelin that survived up on that cliff, if I remember correctly.
You know, I actually do have some criticism about those javelins. How about the next time we just simply don't buy from that dwarf?
Oh, yeah. If I'm presented the opportunity, I definitely will buy from somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shall we go
I don't
outside
know if
then?
he's going to give us a discount on the stuff that we buy using the good iron.
I don't know, that dwarf is stingy as hell, and the first chance I get, I'm locking him in his hut and I'm burning it to the ground.
Alright, come on. Let's go, let's go.
Let's kill in daylight.
Alright, so you make your way to the front of the cave, each one of you jumping the 10 feet that's necessary to reach the bottom, and helping each other down, of course, from the sledge. And you make your way to the front of the cave, and again, like I was saying before, each one of the openings the first one is about 20 feet up, and the remaining two are both 30 feet apiece.
So which one do we go in?
I can give you guys a boost up, if you'd like.
We might actually just be able to climb in there just naturally, but... Which one should we go
So-
into? One?
I'm gonna try this one. Right
Okay.
here. Because it's the first one.
Okay?
That makes
Also
sense.
The lowest one.
Yeah, it's probably the easiest to climb since it's the lowest. You make your way up and begin to climb, and you find purchase in every foothold very easily, eventually making your way up the 20 feet, leading you to, looks like a tunnel leading this way.
Be careful.
I'm generally sometimes careful.
You generally sometimes careful as you come around the corner. And let's see. Oh wait, no. It's gonna do it anyways. Just kidding.
Oh, when Alano gets to the top, does she see the javelin that didn't break or get taken away by a harpy?
Roll a perception check, please.
Uh, 19.
I'll say you can retrieve your javelin.
Yeah, awesome.
Hey.
Okay.
I'm not useless at range anymore.
You currently see an uneven floor as it kind of juts up and down with stone and snow and ice, which strewn about, you see on the ground bits of animal and humanoid bones. And as you get kind of like within the cavern or the cave's entrance or whatever, as you look around, you hear Coming from around
course.
the corner, as
Of course.
stepping out slowly, you see a gigantic wolf slowly coming around the corner as it stares at you and it bares its teeth, and you can see it's kind of desiccated. It's like it has like its ribs kind of showing. It looks kind of small in the waistline, but you can see that it has like bony spikes coming out of its shoulder and bony spikes running down its spine as it growls and looks at you with intent. But it sees like the rest of the group following behind. As it crawls like ever slower towards you, it has its head down and eyes directly on top of you, but you can see it now jutting to everybody behind you. Grimly.
I'm gonna step beside Laodin and just ease and toss it a ration and say, let's back up.
You toss the ration towards the wolf, and the wolf takes a step back as it lands in front of it, and it looks at you, and it looks at it, and it looks at you, and it growls even more as like its teeth bare very sharply, and suddenly it begins to like paw at the ration as the top of the ration kind of like pops off, and it sees the food inside now, and it just buries its face down into the ration.
There's a really hungry wolf in there.
And this wolf, by the way,
I
is
think we
nearly
should,
the size of a horse.
I think we want to mess with
I
that.
think we should go.
Let's back away then, yeah. Leave it there.
And try a different entrance.
Well, back
Although
away
it's
slowly.
really interesting. Has anyone seen a wolf with spikes on its shoulders?
Nope.
Possibly?
If you want, you can roll history to see if you would have come across that in your days.
Who?
Yes. 17?
If you believe that you might have come across a dire wolf, you can roll. People like Abel, maybe Kin, maybe Olanu. Not sure. Grimly
I got a
would've.
natural one.
Okay.
17.
Olanu, I would say that you've definitely heard at least tales of these gigantic wolves.
From what you're describing, it sounds like it might be a dire wolf.
Is it safe to leave something like that this close to Easthaven? No, it's
maybe.
Easthaven, who cares? Okay. Which cave
Not
next?
like it's close to Easthaven.
Yeah, it took you about
And they
3.5
didn't
hours to
have
get here.
Yeah. Alright. Swan, let's go.
The wolf allows you to leave as it chows down on the ration. All right,
Which
what you doing now?
entrance?
I mean, Aria?
Top bottom.
Don't
Top
know
bottom.
why.
Top bottom.
I just feel like it's a good name.
Who wants to climb up this one first?
Lord.
Alright, let's go.
Naden, pop up. And as you crest over the tunnel, you see more tunnel. Surprise, surprise. But
Hey.
you see a split in the path to the left and right. Where do you desire to go? Grimly, as you make your way forward, you see that the right path leads to a large bridge that takes a tunnel.
I think we should go to the left
Peek
first.
around this. I think I'm just gonna peek around this to see if it leads up.
You see that it leads up, and there's
Ooh.
like a room to the right.
Yeah, there's a lot more cave in here than I thought there would be.
By the way, as you are crossing through these smaller tunnels, the wind that is howling outside causes the innards of these caves to sound very moaning-like as it kind of through the caves.
Damn, that was a good ass sound effect, man.
Hell yeah.
Thanks.
Let's go across the bridge.
I think those you lead back to the other entrance. We can take them on the way out, I think.
All right.
Okay.
Do we want to try and be stealthy?
Fine.
Lead in crouches. Go full Skyrim. Alright, lead in, you can roll for stealth.
Yes. I will roll for stealth, and that is a dirty 20.
Got it.
Yes, that's a
All
dirty
right.
20.
Lead in, you still have light on, I assume?
Yes.
That was the.
But I
purple.
turned it to blue. Oh wait, do you have it?
Um,
No,
Yeah, the
Luana
rock.
has it.
Yeah, the rock.
That's fine. I assume the person in the lead or somebody around them has light, so you can see. Lead in, you see the bridge in front of you again. About 20 feet below, you can see the river that ran from south. And across, you can see a room, or excuse me, a path that leads into a larger room.
Where are we going?
May as well.
Lead in, when you step on this bridge, you note that it is extremely slippery. I need you to roll a dexterity acrobatics check, please.
Oh no.
Sweet. I am really good at those.
As it's like not completely level, it's actually angled like 30 degrees.
18.
18. You begin to feel yourself kind of like slip at the 30-degree angle, but the second you feel yourself begin to slip on one foot, you pivot on the other and jump across.
Bam.
And you can now see.
It's a bit slippery. Just letting you know.
You see that this cave looks to contain some sort of abandoned campsite. You look upon the room and you see the charred remains of a campfire. And you can see on the ground 3 torn out pages of some journal or book. And they seem to be like partially burned at the edges.
And I pick them up and look at them.
Sure thing. Do you know Dwarvish?
I do know Dwarvish.
So as you look at these papers, you note that in the Dwarvish writing, you see that they are what looks like an anonymous dwarf's missing pages that kind of describe the complex. And one of the pages it says, "These caves are sacred to the frost giants. The carvings on the wall suggest that the giants came here to drown themselves. Did they use the hot spring as a sacrificial pool?" Another page says, "The wind truly sounds like a wailing woman. One could easily go mad in this place." And lastly, "I think there's someone living in these caves. Shortly after discovering the hot spring, I heard what sounded like a grandma singing. When the song ended with a shrill laugh, dread sunk its teeth into me. Ye gods, that horrible cackle. I shall leave these caves in the morn, never to return."
So it's a campsite over here. If we end up having to stay, we should probably stay here.
Is there snow in that room?
Probably.
It
yes.
looks to be just a bit of snowdrift, barely. a bit of snowdrift, but mostly the thing that you see, the reason it has a bit of snowdrift is because it has much larger openings to the sky above, and you see a beautiful array of moonbeams kind of entering into the room.
I
But
also
again,
Did you
found
find
some
anything in there?
I found some pages about the caves written. I think they're just the dwarf researchers' pages. If we had come here first, we would have found out about the hag, but hindsight and all that.
Shall we check the other way?
That's a good idea.
Be careful crossing, Leiden.
Dex? Or another acrobatics?
Sure, if you're crossing. Go for it.
Yes. That one is not as good. That one is only a 14.
Still able to pass without an issue. You note the 30-degree angle, and you even make a mockery of it as you balance beam your way across the top right shoulder that is at the highest position. And Olano, you make your way closer towards the northern part of the caves, and you can see a large area that has these, I guess you could say, pillars of ice. Basically stalactites that met stalagmites of icicles, but they're just gigantic ice pillars. But the area itself just really echoes and whistles that loud moaning noise through the area as the air blows through this chamber.
Okay. Kind of look around the corner, see what I
So you
see.
path to the north, and you see another bifurcated path.
It looks like there's another fork ahead.
All right. You look to the right, and you see a large cave. This one seems to be filled with cave drawings, but not of the cave drawings you had seen in the Hags area, but cave drawings that look quite a bit more distinguished, if you will, a bit more, a less evil and more, I guess you could say, story. But you basically find cave paintings.
Okay.
And these cave paintings are stylized as if like stick drawings, like cavemen would draw, but they all allude to the story of the sacrificial frost giants and the reasoning.
Is there any, like, is it all drawings, or are there like symbols similar to the ice giant that I had seen before?
No, it's basically just a storyline telling. There doesn't even seem to be any kind of symbols or writing.
Okay.
Again, more on the lines of cave paintings than anything.
Just a whole bunch of drawings on the wall, basically depicting the sacrifice of the ice giants that would come here.
I wonder where that last hobby ran off to.
It doesn't really matter, does it?
Suppose not.
What do you think? Should we start heading back?
I think that would be a good idea. We don't want to get caught out in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Getting pretty late.
Okay.
Maybe we should make
Right.
camp and leave in the morning.
I think we'll be able to make it back.
Yeah, if we head across the ice and not go across that unfortunate pitfall, I'm sure we'll get back there fine.
You don't want to deal with that bridge?
I'd rather not deal with the bridge.
Maybe we can cross the lake instead.
Plus, it'll be easier to drag the cauldron and the cart back over the lake anyway.
We'll just stick
tough.
along the shore as much as we can.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So, with a bit of a small bit of difficulty climbing back down the icy and rocky path to get down back to the ice, you make your way to the ice entrance and find your sled has been unaffected by anything. You still see the 4 bodies. You still see the cauldron sitting up front and everything like that, and the reins that lead to it, all still intact, ready to go.
Let's go.
All right. So, as you all head outwards, back onto the lake, you can now see, being that it's, we'll say that it's about 3:30, as you all, I'm sorry, 4:30. No, what was it? Was it 3 before or 4 before?
It was 3.
It's 3
it was
before, so
3
it's about
before.
3:30 now, as you all explored the rest of the cavern. You make your way now southwards, back along the icy shores of Lactinashire. And in a bit of a, I guess you could say, montage moment, you make your way back towards Easthaven until not too far off in the distance you see the outline of the city against the darkened sky and the snow, and you can see just up ahead the docks and the icy docks with the ships that seem to be ice locked within that area, just to the north of the city. And as you make your way back, where would you like to go within the city?
Should we check if the guard captain is still at the tavern?
Yes.
Okay. So
Don't
it
mention what that cauldron does.
So I took you guys back over the Easthaven map.
We can also check the town hall. Might be another place where she is.
Okay. So you all again approach from the north, and in doing so, you have your choice of basically landing anywhere along the shoreline to the north of the city. You guys want to go to the White Lady Inn, town, and or you could go like really far and up around to the route.
If we go to the Wet Trout, this thing is going to get instantly mugged. So maybe we should check the town hall first and then check the White Lady Inn.
Yeah.
If nothing else, we can ensure that we'll probably find her at one or the other.
Okay.
Yep.
If,
So you.
if
Okay.
the four of you don't mind, I think I'm gonna go to the White Lady Inn and go to Mining Grimley's room for a little bit.
You go on ahead. I'll be heading up into hours soon to investigate this cauldron.
Alright, I'll see you in a bit.
You split off along the docks, one going to the left of a large ship, one Abel going to the right of this large ship towards the White Lady Inn. As Alanu has to drag this thing along and everybody has to, of course, take their time on the ice, Abel, you arrive at the White Lady Inn first. As you walk inside,
just-
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go. You got it.
Okay.
Go
As you
for it.
walk inside, you notice that there seems to be a bit of a bustle amongst the crowd. A lot more conversive, a lot of people talking and everything like that. You hear whispers and roundabout like kind of glares around the room, and some people even slamming their drinks down on the table. And you hear somebody say, "Another one!" You hear somebody say, "When's it gonna stop?"
I'll just keep listening and eavesdropping if I can.
You hear a very rotund man in his winter gear say to his friend that he's talking to next to him, "Did you hear? They just found another murder victim." And then the other guy next to him says, "What's going on with all these murders? 2 people found now, dead within within the town? That's not even including the deranged wizard's victims." I don't know. I'm just looking into it, though. More rabble, more ruffle.
Abel will turn around and start heading towards where the rest of the party is going.
Okay. Rest of the party, you make your way up the coast and eventually up onto a solid land yet again, snow as it is, as you make your way towards Town Hall and pulling this cart of dead bodies and a cauldron, pulls the glance of like 2 people that seem to be walking down the street at the wrong time as they stare off to the side, like they kind of like pull back away from you a moment and just give everybody a glance and stare at what you're carrying.
We found the fisherman.
And you see them like talk to each other and like quickly move away. And you make your way to the front of the town hall. Oops.
You want to
go
see
up.
if she's in here?
Yeah, I
I'll
go
stay
up
with
and
the
go.
Okay. You go up to the door, and standing at the door is a familiar face. As you make your way up, and sorry. Names are hard to remember, folks, when you got like 300 of them. You see standing in front of the door a familiar face as Brian looks to be on alert, as he is like very kind of shifty. He seems to be standing in front of the door with his pike in his hand, looking back and forth as he sees the rest of the group as you guys all approach. And he sees you as you approach and, "Halt! Who goes there?"
We're the party the guard Captain Imdra sent out to look for the fisherman.
Drow. Can any of you speak to where her whereabouts were this morning?
Yeah.
Benemdra.
No, I think he was talking about.
He's talking about
Kinrava.
me.
Yeah,
She was with
Not
us
in
The
town.
the whole time.
likely story. It's a good thing you have friends here, Drow.
It's a good thing you do as well, my dear.
That is supposed to be a threat.
Of course not.
Right, might as well take you in for questioning anyway. Come here. And he starts making his way towards
Alanu
you.
leaves the cart and stands in between them. Who are you taking in for questioning? We are on business from Imdra. We are here to speak to her.
Well,
Do your job.
roll an intimidation check.
Can I help with that?
With what? Your sully glance?
Okay, there we go.
I'm wearing the mask, so.
I guess so. That is true. But I guess he would have recognized your voice. So, but yes,
Yeah, true. Yeah.
the mask. Sure, Olano, go ahead and roll with advantage because that was scary to me as a DM to even listen to you.
Okay, so the first one was better. 19 plus 3. I can math.
22.
Yeah.
All right. So, Olano, you step in front of him, and he seems to like be tripping over his words at this moment. He's like, I just wanted to make sure that. And as soon as he's like talking, he kind of sees you, and he begins to like kind of back off, while like still giving you like a mean mug as he's talking. And suddenly the door opens to the front of the city hall, and standing there at the doorway, you see a new face, but it looks to be of the same type of accoutrement as the person in Brinshander as the town speaker. Standing in front of you now, you see a very tall man, 6'2" as a matter of fact, and you see upon him a very, very pale complexion. You see freckles upon his face, and you see a lot of orangish red hair kind of peeking out between his hood that he has thrown up over his head. And he comes out. He says, "Brian, back off. Just get back to your position." He's like, "Yeah, but they have a drow with them." Just for the time being. I think this is the crew that Imdra sent out. Well, right. Consider yourself lucky, drow. And he just kind of turns around and goes and puts his pike in the ground and kind of just begins to look around as he kicks some snow out of the way in frustration when he gets back to his position.
What a charming gent.
The town speaker doesn't even break a smile as he approaches you, and you see him now dressed all in black winter gear, with even like black leather straps across him. You see a long black winter coat on, and it seems to be trimmed with brown and black fur that lines all the outsides of his coat. Very contrasting to his skin tone. And as he makes his way towards you, he says, I believe Imdra told me of your group.
Yes. We were sent out to see if we could find what happened to the fishermen. Unfortunately, they were butchered and partially devoured by a hag in one of the caves, about an hour or so away from town.
You just see him close his eyes and like shake his head, and he kind of looks behind you, sees the cart, and he's like, "Of course it was a hag."
We have the head
else?
if you want proof of that, though.
He goes, "Seeing that you have their corpses there, I'll take your word for it." He goes, I get your alibi is pretty solid. And don't worry about Brian. He's doing his job. Be it, he might be quite rash at times. But really, we could still use your help. You see, we just recently had a murder. Not too long ago. Within Easthaven, a halfling trapper named Pennywise Surefoot was just found over about a week ago. And now some poor merchant or tradesman has been found as well. I don't know too much as Imdra has been sent off to figure out what's going on.
Do you know where we might find her?
Probably at the crime scene. Northeast part of town. Look, I know you didn't have anything to do with the murder, but I'd ask if you could not leave town until things settle down for a little bit.
She looks at the group.
No promises.
I can at the very least promise I'll stay in town, even if it's just prove that I'm not the one doing it? And she like casts a glance over towards Brian briefly.
He seems to be like looking off in the distance, like away from you at that point. Olanu, as you speak, the speaker steps up to you in a bold manner, and even like almost chest to chest. He seems to be about maybe 6 inches away from you. He looks up at you and says, "It's my job and duty to protect this town. I was asking you, but now I'm telling you, please, do not leave this town. Not until we figure out who's responsible for this murder. It's high time we figure out what's going on. And honestly, we could use your help as a group. It seems that you get
You're
the job
paying.
done. Well, no services go for free. Not here in Icewind."
We most certainly will be staying in town for at least another day or so. Give us some time to at least speak with Indra about our reward for this job, and then we'll come back to you in the morrow in order to discuss helping you with this situation, if you don't mind. We're a little bit worn out after having dealt with this hag.
Very well, just try to hurry.
We will be at the White Lady Inn if you need us.
Okay then. To the White Lady Inn. I will go if I need you then. For now,
Speaking of which,
the town is on
crime scene
lockdown.
that you mentioned is.
Say again?
Can you tell me where on? Then she'll hold out her small map. Can you show me where on this map exactly the crime scene is in the town?
I'm not sure. Like I said, I had just been notified.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
In the meantime, what would you have us do with these bodies?
And he kind of like sighs in the fact that he's having to like tackle like 3 or 4 things at once and so many issues for the town. He kind of looks over. Brian. Yeah. Go find someone to take care of these bodies. Take them to the graveyard. Find their families. Make sure that they know that they've been found. Right. You can see Brian just leaves, goes inside. He says, just pull the cart or the sled around the side of the town hall. What's with the cauldron?
Actually, that's something we found in the hag's lair. I was going to see what I could do with it. Probably fashion it into something that we can sell.
Okay. Alright.
There wasn't anything else in the cave we could take other than a hungry dire wolf.
Dire wolves too. Great. Another thing on my plate. And you just see him turn around and he begins to walk away.
Oh, but we don't know your name.
Ah. Daneth. Daneth Whalen. And he just shuffles his clothing and goes into the building.
Alright, I
Okay.
guess we should go find this crime scene.
I'll
He
pull
said
the
it was
cart around.
You pull the cart around.
Ice Heart, could you carry the cauldron, please?
Why? Just offload the bodies on the ground.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah,
Rather not leave our cart here.
fair point. We did pay for it.
Yep. And without issue, you pull the 4
Unceremonious
bodies.
pile of bodies.
Yep. You put the 4 bodies like down into the snow. The things are frozen solid at this point. Like stiff as a board, and you just place them in the same position they were in the cart, but now next to each other, against the side of the wall.
Kinrava
Of course,
just takes her
covering them
quill. She takes her magic quill out and then just writes, like, on the snow, just the words, "Come to collect fishermen."
You do. And it glows a spectacular, blue, purple, whatever you'd like.
It just glows a purple color on the snow.
It's like a...
Nice Lucidia handwriting.
And you see it glows almost like as if somebody had very lovingly urinated into the snow with purple intent. And
That is awful.
you finish up and pick up your the sled and begin making your way towards the northeast. As you are exiting and making your way back, Abel makes his way towards you in a bit of a haste.
There's been another murder, apparently.
We
Yeah.
were just informed of it, and I was just accused of it.
And now
Really?
we can't leave the town because they don't trust people who look different than them.
Well, I suppose I should go speak to the Captain Imdra again.
We've also been asked to help.
Really?
We've been asked to help, but I told them to give us at the very least the night to think it over before we do anything about it.
Okay.
I think they mentioned the crime scene was somewhere to the west of the city. Or west in the city.
North.
Northwest.
Northeast?
Oh, northeast.
Northeast.
Yeah, northeast.
You've confused me.
Total other
beyond
direction.
Complete
confusion.
opposite.
I'm sorry, I was imagining burning Brian. That's yes.
You know what? Seth's deception check totally surpassed mine.
Where
Yeah,
is this
he had me
crime
going.
scene?
Yeah, northeast is where you're looking.
I'm sorry, I'm writing a list of the people I need to burn, and it's getting longer and longer as time goes on in Icewind.
Yep. Before making your
But
way there,
just saying that in character. Just saying that in character.
before making your way there, let's go ahead and take tonight's first break. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Being that it is the break for the third week of this month, that means we can get into today's drawing for free dice. So, guys, if you are in chat right now, awesome. I'm glad you're here. I see that we have a bit of viewership. I'm super happy to have you guys. Let's see if I can pop up the actual dice. We'll go here and dice. There we go. These are the dice that you guys are currently going to be in the running for. If you are subscribed to the channel, you have a chance of entering for these dice. Again, like I said, if you have a Prime subscription to Twitch, these dice would absolutely be available to you for free if you would graciously throw down that Prime subscription for us. And for everybody else that doesn't have a Prime subscription, if you are subscribed to the channel, you can be in the running for this thing just as everybody else can. So, let me rearrange that so it's just easier viewing. And let me flip this horizontally. Perfect. Okay. So, with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and get into the drawing. So, if you are subscribed, I'm going to start the giveaway now. Should pop up here in just a second. All right. So, to enter, I need you to type in !raffle. To be included into the drawing. Again, like I said, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, you will not be available to enter. Your raffle will be moot. But as you can see, it's totally worth it, guys. Look at that free dice. Free dice. Okay. The description of the dice, if we can go into it, they are by what company again? I forgot what it was.
I did too.
Perfect.
They are
We are on
Metallic
our P's and Q's.
Dice Games.
Metallic Dice Games. Unicorn set, by the way, guys. I don't know if you can see it here in the picture. You can see on the D20 there's a let me transform it again to flip. There you go. On the D20, you can see that there is a beautiful little unicorn. But it's gorgeous. It has like blue and black wisps through a clear and glittered interior with a gold numbering system. Really actually beautiful. So again, if you want
So
to
jealous.
enter, If you want to enter, type !raffle to be in the drawing for these dice. Let's get some like hype music. Let's get some Lanu Rage up in this.
Yes.
Let's
I would
do
like
it.
to rage.
All right, so let's get some.
I'm gonna
real
dye my hair black again.
killer music as we wait.
Good luck, chat.
It should be like the official like dice giveaway like hype music.
Yes.
Agreed.
I think I'll let somebody else win this time, says Cav.
I think you should. I do think you should.
Normally, guys, I would go out and like post on Twitter and stuff like that saying like, hey, we're doing the giveaway right now. But you know what? I'm rewarding people who are here from the start. That way they know exactly when the drawing is being had. Those are the types of people that I like to reward. The types of people who aren't just here for the goodies. You know, they're here to actually be here for fun and enjoy the goodies along the way. So everybody that's in the drawing right now, you guys are the real G's. We give you guys about a minute and a half before we finish up the drawing for it. By the way, all music is provided by our very lovely makeshift in Discord. Every one of these are insanely good, like composers of music, and it's crazy to me that to think that he throws out such quality music in such short amounts of time. And somebody has gifted my wife a subscription. Oh. This song belongs on Cyberpunk. You should hear the stuff that he sends me. He's like, how's this? What does this sound like? I'm like, that sounds like a video game. That is amazing. Like, but I don't think it really fits the theme too much. He's like, oh, okay. And then he just pops out another song 20 minutes later that's like perfect. It's so crazy. All right, about 45 seconds, guys. For a reminder for anybody that's joining right now, if you are subscribed to the stream, you have a chance of winning free dice right now. If you type in !raffle, you will be entered to win this free set of dice. Right now we have a total of 7 people entered, so you have a 1 in 7 chance, guys. That's a pretty damn good odds if you ask me. Plays boss fight music instead of break music. We'll just wait till the end of the songs.
Don't forget when you receive your dice to send us photos.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
Let us know what you think.
If you guys get your dice in, definitely send us photos. Let us know, or let us see you guys enjoying those dice. I'd like to see them in other people's hands, and we'll throw you up on stream every once in a while to show people actually receiving their gifts versus us just saying that we're giving them away. All right. So with that being that, if you are subscribed to the channel, very last chance, if you're subscribed to the channel and you would like to enter a raffle for these dice that you see below me, enter an !raffle. You'll be in the drawing for it. All right. So in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So now we will pick our winner. So over what the heck, the cool grandma games, Something Clever, Zarkonic Priest, Shiny Stevie, and Doug in for the role in 3, 2, 1. Congratulations, Arth. one of the most beneficial or like helpful people to the stream. Absolutely deserving of these dice. Congratulations, Arth. I really hope you enjoy these things. You can reach out to us on Discord. Let us know your information. That way we can, or even here if you message us, let us know your shipping information, and we'll try to get these dice out to you as soon as possible. Congratulations, Arth.
Congrats.
Like I said,
Yay!
completely and utterly
Woohoo!
deserving of these things. Awesome. Thank you very much, Arth. And to everybody else that entered, good luck next month. As I was saying beforehand, in several streams beforehand, that guys, if we reach this sub goal down here as well, if we happen to reach this sub goal, we will absolutely do more than just one dice giveaway per month. The dice giveaway per month, again, is out of pocket. So we tend to just try to limit it to one per month. But if we begin to start getting more and more support from the community, we would like to get back to you guys even more. And we could do that in ways of giving free dice away or giving free D&D material or anything like that, basically every month. So that being said, let's go on break, have our first little pee break. Congratulations, Arth, and we'll be right back, guys. Just gonna use the restroom real quick and I'll be right back. Ooh, Grandma, that's a lot of bits. Thank you for the 20 bits. as you guys can see below, just last stream, I have created a new goal for us for me at least, this year. On the bottom left, you'll see that a new DSLR camera for stream and videos has been added to the pool of donations. I would love to increase the quality of the stream in any way possible, and one of the best ways I can do it is by upgrading my camera. I've already got a professional microphone set up. I will be upgrading my computer later in the year, and the biggest thing I need right now is a new DSLR camera, but I could really use the help of our community in doing so. So over the year, I'll be collecting some donations in order to basically make videos for YouTube and give you guys more content than just the stream is what I'm trying to say. We can do different videos and maybe even some Q&As and stuff like that I can throw up on YouTube later on. Why can't we have blind sight? That would be so cool. Well, if you have night vision goggles, you get a little bit of, not necessarily blind sight, but a little bit of night vision.
That would actually be really nice.
What's that?
The dark vision goggles. That'd be really awesome. It's the first character I've played that doesn't have dark vision.
Guys, everybody in chat, how's everybody doing tonight, guys? Or today? You guys have a good week? Didn't really get to talk to some of you beforehand. Anything new going on in your life? Been tired, good but tired, or been good, tired but good. Well, that's good. Yeah, I totally get the tired thing, and I think we are all very tired coming into 2021. Moving closer to the kids and grandkids in 9 weeks. That is awesome. Oh, that's wonderful. That is such an awesome thing to look forward to. Believe me, I totally understand. I've been apart from my daughter for almost 2 years now due to the COVID crisis and everything like that. I've been living in Germany and she's in Colorado, so come June, we're moving back to the States and I'll be closer to her, and I cannot wait. Actually played a session of 5e for the first time. Never whiffed a first attack as a fighter that bad before. Yeah, that sounds like 5e. You'll make many more, oh no.
So many.
It actually hasn't been too bad for rolls.
You made up for
Oh, shit.
those horrific rolls that you started this campaign with. I was terrified that it was going to be like that.
I was just like, no.
Wifey says, going to bed, I will have to listen to the rest later. Night, hun.
No.
See you in a little bit. Love you. Make up for it with the second a crit. Oh, made up for it with the second one being a crit. Well, there you go. No damage lost. Well, maybe a little bit, but still. The dice giveth, and the dice taketh away.
Yeah.
All right, my lovely Ray, are you ready to go?
Yeah, sorry, I just needed to get some lunch.
No, it's no problem. Everybody else, are you good? Good, 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 good. All right, excellent.
Good to go.
And we're back. So, you get the right music going. Let's see. So, let's start off with. Seems maybe Kin would be leading the charge here. Maybe Kin and Leodin, or Ulanu.
All right then.
Kin, you would be the first to see as you approach the northeast part of town. You would begin to see what looks to be the general start of a large crowd around the northeast part of town. You see people kind of like jogging up to the edge of the crowd and trying to peek over and everything like that as you look onward. And you notice now that the crowd seems to be bustling up and almost centered upon where the wet trout basically lies. And the thing you hear over the crowd themselves is basically a very familiar voice yelling above the crowd. Excuse me. As find myself in my notes here. You hear Jeff yelling out above the crowd, "Get back! Get back now! Don't crowd the scene! Let the captain do her job, or I'll push you back myself!" And you can see him like taking his sword like and pushing people back at the chest as they seem to be like yelling up at the front, kind of like pointing and stuff like that. But most of everybody else seems to be looking at each other and mumbling. You can't get a good vision of what anything is being done like out in the distance, but that's kind of what you hear when you approach.
Leodin, maybe you should take the lead on this. I'm just going to double check that this mask is secure.
Right. I make my way through the front of the crowd in a almost a little kid fashion, just shoving my way through people.
Yep. Making your way through. Hey.
Yes. And I, without even second guessing anything, I just start heading towards where I hear Jeff yelling at people.
Yep.
But also looking for Indra.
Okay.
I'll also follow like the path she's clearing, kinda.
Yeah, you can follow right behind her easily. Rest of the crew, are you also following along?
I'll stay with the cart.
Okay, you stay back with the cart. You begin making your way through the crowd, and Leodin, you emerge towards the front of the crowd, and you basically come up to where Jeff is now forcing some people back with his sword kind of horizontally now to create a bit of a barrier. And he's like, get back now. And he looks at one and he kind of like backs up.
So we were told that we actually had to help, and we were told that we needed to go talk to the captain. So can we just... Yes.
And you can see he just stares at you for a second. And he looks over at Kin behind you, and he puts his sword down, and he allows you to kind of pass by, and then puts his sword back up. All right, of course, allowing Abel and Grimly through as well. And you can hear like, "Hey, what the?" and like allowing you to go through and everything like this. And Jeff kind of stares, like he kind of is pushing this back, and he kind of stares back at what's going on to kind of look at the group once more. And just up ahead, around the side of the wet trout, you see Captain Imdra currently squatting beside a body that is surrounded by a pool of blood.
Do we recognize the body?
Getting in for a closer look, you see now as you approach closer, as Imdra sees the group like approaching because of the footsteps being heard in the snow. You see Imdra turn to you, Leodin, as with like a look of like, damn it, in her face. As she turns back towards the body, you now approach, and lying in the snow, eyes open, mouth agape, and skin a pale gray blue, Ian stares lifelessly into the stars above. A large dagger of ice is seen punctured through his chest, and most definitely his heart.
Someone needs to go get Iceheart.
Abel, could you... Grimly, could you watch the cart when she comes over, please?
Yeah, I'll go get her.
Grimly, as you're about to turn away...
I'll go with Grimly as well.
Okay, just a second. As Grimly, you're about to turn away, you note that the dagger gives off a, like, red electric, like, real quick.
Yes.
You can do whatever.
Let's go get her. Yep.
Abel and Grimly going back towards Olanu. Yep, you move past and you see now, like, Jeff is screaming at these people to, like, hold back, and he's just holding back, like, literally, like, 20 people himself with his sword as he holds them back, and he sees you as you guys pass and gives you, like, the saddest eyes of knowing, like, what just happened, and kind of, like, holds back the rest of the people as you walk past him.
Alanu,
What is
Sorry.
it?
you're gonna want to see this.
Okay.
It's Ian.
What do you mean it's Ian? Get out of my way. She pushes past you. Storms through the crowd.
Almost a head's length taller than most of the people in the crowd, you push through with ease, make your way to Jeff, and Jeff, knowingly seeing you coming, pushes one person really hard down to the ground in front of you and allows you to pass. You now see Leodin standing and Kin standing softly, kind of lifelessly with their arms to their side, as Captain Imdra seems to be, like, doing a small semicircle around the body. And you see there, lying in the snow, Ian, lifeless.
I thought he left this morning.
She walks up to Imdra. Who did this?
I'm not sure. It's the second death we've had like this.
Like
She kinda
this?
She kind of points at the icicle through the heart. Some sort of MO, I guess. Jeff told me, you know who this is?
It's Ian.
You see her take out some parchment. Is there anything you can tell me about what he was doing? Do you have anybody, any enemies?
He runs trade routes.
Yeah, we already know that. We'll just, you know anything else? Maybe something that can help?
He was supposed to have. He left this morning.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
before we did.
He was supposed to be gone from here. And she'll kind of kneel next to him, kind of looking at the dagger.
Captain Imdra, may I have your permission to check for any magic on this dagger?
she kind of looks at you and looks over towards the crowd, and she's like, "We can do it subtly."
Of course. Could you, Leodin,
Could you
in
just
the-
clear them out so she doesn't have to be subtle? Why are they even here?
They're scared, Iceheart. Just give them a moment. Leodin, could you stand in front of me while I perform this small spell, please?
Yeah.
And she'll, well, with Leodin standing in front of her and making sure that her hands aren't seen, she'll cast Detect Magic subtly under her breath.
Okay. Go ahead and roll sleight of hand or a stealth check, whichever is better for you, I guess.
I'll roll. They're both the same, so.
Yeah, I figured. I was just thinking either one.
That is a 13.
Okay. Kin, as you're casting your spell, you hear slight murmurs from the group. One of them, of course, yelling out loudly above the rest in the middle of the crowd. "They're using magic!" And then you hear somebody else, "They're with the wizard that died!" And at this point, you see Imdra. You see she basically kind of loses her temper as she gets up to the crowd. And at this point, is like Jeff has pushed a bunch of them back, and they seem to be stationary at this point instead of trying to push through, seeing that you guys are there. And Imdra yells out to the crowd, "Go to your homes now! This is not your place! We will notify you if anything goes down. The city is on lockdown until further notice. Go, now! Keep your family safe. We'll figure this out." You see the crowd begin to disperse a bit. A few of the more stubborn people staying behind, crossing their arms and looking on.
Is there
Grimly.
any magic in the thing?
Yeah, give me a second, Grimly.
Gonna look at Abel. This is that dark entity. The dark entity's doing. The eyes. The ones I made you promise me you would help me take down. It did this.
How do you know?
I felt the same energy that I felt before. I'm gonna go speak to the captain. Let her know there's something darker going on.
I'll watch the cauldron. And I sit down on the sled.
Yep.
I'm gonna head back towards them.
In your magic basically goes off, and you detect for magic. You do note that the icicle, or the ice dagger, which is literally an ice like sculpture of a dagger. It is not just an icicle that has been plunged to the heart. It is a dagger made of ice, essentially. You do note that this is a magical dagger. That, I guess, what would it be? Conjuration, I assume?
Okay.
We'll see.
I'll kneel next to the body. Can I remove it?
Leave it for a moment. Let me just finish examining this. I promise you it won't take long.
Hurry.
So after that, there's nothing else but the dagger that's magical, right?
Correct.
Okay. She'll look over to Captain Indra and say, "Captain, there is a magical aura on this weapon."
Figured as much.
Your wizard is dead, so it's not. We can at least write him off. And for the record, whoever did this was not the same who killed the fishermen. The fishermen were killed by a hag that lived out on the lake. We killed that.
Well, that's good to know. We have more enemies that we're looking for.
You said there was another murder like this one.
Yeah. Not too long ago.
Just like this one.
Yeah. Ice dagger through the heart.
Captain, could you remove the dagger, or could one of us remove it? I know we don't want to touch evidence or anything, but this is your field.
I will warn you, the last time we touched the dagger that was in our last victim shattered and melted into water.
That's all.
It seems it doesn't like being touched.
She pulls it out.
You grab it, and as you pull it out, you pull it out so fast that it doesn't even have a chance to really do anything until it's like already about a foot in the air, and suddenly as it's a foot in the air, it shatters mid-air in your hand. As you crunch it, it falls down to the ground and then dissipates into water.
I've seen spells like this, but the spells I know of wouldn't leave it in there.
Maybe it's not a spell that you know.
That is quite possible. I've seen powerful wizards cast spells, but this is something different.
Is there anything else that you need with the body?
I mean, other than we doing a thorough investigation of the surrounding area, I guess we don't need too much of the body. It is what it is, as you can see. Unless you can do something that I can't.
Would you need it for an investigation, or?
No, just need its information.
Alright. I'm sure you won't mind if our friend here gives her own friend a proper burial.
As long as we go over the murder scene before doing so, that's fine. Make sure you don't tamper with evidence around the area, huh? She kind of like puts her hands out to make sure that like nobody moves closer to the body than necessary.
Hurry. Do what you need.
Right. And you just hear like, as you see Jeff, he's like, I'm gonna go get her. And he walks inside. And just a little bit later, maybe a few minutes later, coming outside, looking a bit shocked, you do see the white dragonborn that was the proprietor of the wet trout. As Nemetra kind of turns the corner, and she just like is shaking her head. She looks up at you. Sorry about your friend.
Where are Molly and Sarah?
We put him over in the stables.
Okay.
We can probably go get them later if we need to.
They should say goodbye.
I want to.
We'll go get them later.
Did Ian stop by here?
Yeah.
Like
this morning, he came by and was wondering if I had anything I wanted to give back, maybe some scrap metal and stuff like that, to Bryn Shander for them to make some more gear. I went inside, and when I came back outside with some scrap, well, Ian was here.
How long ago was that?
About 2 hours.
Did you see any footprints in the snow around him?
Not that I could see. I didn't really pay attention, I just rushed off.
That's fair.
How long were you gone?
To try and find Imdra. I don't know.
No.
Oh, to get
to find the scrap metal.
The scrap metal. It's only gone maybe 10 minutes.
You didn't hear anything?
I didn't hear anything, no. And as everybody kind of sits there, kind of scratching their heads, walking over from the back entrance of the wet trout, you see Jeff makes his way out, and he says, "Bet I know who did this."
Just gonna randomly accuse some magic user.
I don't know if he was a magic user, but I assume so. There was a man seen walking around. No winter gear. Thought he had lost a bet at first, I guess, but strangely, he didn't seem to mind the cold.
My stature?
No. Much smaller. Human.
Any other details?
Yeah, he was, wearing some leathers, but again, like I said, definitely not that of what he should have been. Matter of fact, wearing like a leather jerkin and, like a cloth long sleeve shirt that was rolled up to his elbows. Cloth pants and leather boots. Something you'd see on the Sword Coast, but not here.
Did you see any sort of facial details, hair color, eye color, anything?
Didn't catch him.
Alright. Alright.
I think that he was around when the celebration was going on. He seemed to be walking around with a few tokens, flipping one in the air when he walked.
And he was still not wearing...
Yeah, no
winter
cold
coat.
gear.
Nimatra, does this sound like anyone you've seen in your tavern before?
Not that I can tell. No one's come in looking like that before. Most people I know come in with head-to-toe coverings.
Okay. Iceheart, I know you want to be here for your friend, but I think at least for the time being, we need to let the captain do her job. Let's return to the inn, and then we can discuss this together. And Captain Imdrick, we've completed the job, but I can see that you're clearly very busy here right now. Please come to the White Lady Inn, either tomorrow or the next time you're free, to speak with us, and we'll help you any way we can on this matter.
Yeah, okay. If you want, you can ask for your items over at the city hall. They're locked up
Will
in
do.
evidence, and I'm sure they'll let you at it once,
As
Here, give them this. And she flips you a token of hers that she kind of takes out from her coat. And it is that of the city's seal. As you look upon it, you see now a large, like, I believe it's a castle. Give me a second. The seal of Easthaven. Yeah, it is a tower, and it has a snowflake above the tower, and it's in the shape of a shield.
Okay.
And she flicks it to you, and she says, "They'll be expecting you. Just ask for evidence, and they'll hand you one of the items."
Okay. We'll leave you to this for now then. We should, Iceheart, we should meet up with the others now. I know you want to stay here, but right now we can't help in any way.
I know. He's already gone. Imdra.
Yeah.
as soon as you are done, let me know.
Sure. Oh, by the way, I found out a little bit more, or maybe found a lead on those figures we were talking about, the dark figures.
Yes, I was going to ask you about that.
If you want to talk about it now, that's fine, but I think we should get through this first and then we'll talk.
Yeah, let's speak about this either later or tomorrow. You've got a lot on your plate right now, and you don't need us adding to it.
Right.
Do you mind if I collect his things?
Yeah, be my guest.
Also, I don't want to add to this, but we've got the head of the hag back there if you needed proof that we killed it.
Whatever. I don't need it. I believe you.
All right.
Alani walks out.
Yeah. You walk back, you see Abel sitting at the cart, or at the sled. Olanu, as you walk by, you see like 4 or 5 members of the town still gathered around, each one of them talking to each other and giving everybody like these deep stares as they make their way past.
She doesn't, or I don't pay them any mind, and I don't even stop when I get towards the cart. I'm going straight for the stables.
Okay. Abel, you see, I guess Abel and Grimly, you see Olanu pass by you.
Perhaps we should give her a moment.
Yeah, I don't say anything or do anything. I'll just let her go.
We should join the others at the cart later.
Alright.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Let's go.
All right. And Kin will make her way over to Grimly and Abel.
You guys step past everybody. Again, everybody, especially Kin, you're getting the stink eye as you move past. A lot of them, some through, like, literally the only thing visible is their eyes through their winter gear, and some of them even wearing, like, makeshift goggles over their eyes. Kind of stare at you as you pass. You hear, like, mumbles and whispers as you pass by.
Weren't you told to go home?
You just see they kind of like look over in your direction, and the one that turns closer to you takes his arm and turns back around.
Leave them be. Anyone who stays around. Leave them be. Anyone who stays around here too long is going to be considered a suspect anyway.
We'll have no respect.
And she says that loud enough for the group for them to hear her before she makes her way to the cart.
Yep.
Let's head to, I need to stop by the town hall very quickly, and I'm sure Olanu will join us when she's had her time.
Right.
Okay. And you start making your way towards the town hall. Olanu, in your hurried pace, without any hindrance, you shove your way through town, bearing no, alternate route as you make a beeline straight for the stables at the southwest portion of town. And you arrive.
Is the door open to the stables?
The door is not open. You note that like a lot of locations, like there is no open doors at all because of the wind and the cold.
Sure. Or I'll walk over, pull the door open if it's unlocked.
Yeah, it's unlocked.
Walk in. Is there anyone inside?
Currently there is. As you look over, you do see the stable master again. but she is currently like basically combing out some of the feathers from the axe beak, and Jasmine hears the door open as she turns to you and she says, "Oh, welcome. You okay?"
I'm here
As
to
she
collect
notices, like, your face.
Molly and Sarah.
Oh, friends of one who
Yes.
died?
Yes.
I mean, nothing against you, friend. I really, really have nothing against you, but I can't just give you these animals. Sorry, it's just not mine to give away just yet, unless you, of course, have permission.
I was given permission by Imdra to collect his belongings.
Roll an intimidation check.
Seven. 10.
She looks at you and she says, "Look, if Imdra gave you that permission, that's fine. Bring me something back in writing. I'm a business person. That's how we work here."
She balls her hands into fists at her side.
Okay.
You're lucky.
She kind of just like,
That I am
kinda-
not an evil person. I'll get your fucking proof. She opens the door, slams it shut, and walks out.
Abel Grimley, Kin, and Leodin all arrive back at the town hall, which I assume you said you were making your way towards.
Yeah.
See your best
She'll-
friend hanging outside.
She'll approach Brian again,
Mm-hmm.
and she'll show the. Oop,
He's not there.
No, he's there. Brian's there. He's back out
I
front.
thought
That
Brian
was his.
had to go. Okay.
Yeah, he had, but by the time you guys had done all your things, he already has people. Yeah, he had already had people gather the bodies and everything like that, and he's back out front guarding the front.
Gotcha.
she'll show the token Indra gave her and say, "Imdra promised me the scroll as payment for finding what happened to the fisherman. We're going to be staying in town to help find the murderer. Turns out a close friend of ours lost someone. Could you please fetch the scroll that was promised as payment?"
You see him kind of like sneer at you for a second, like look over at the pin. He like snatches the pin from you. He looks at it, tries to like bend it. He's like, "Just giving these things away to anybody nowadays, huh?" He walks away.
More than
He walks inside and he's gone for a good amount of time. Like 10 minutes passes and nothing.
I'm gonna head in. I don't think
You
he's
hit-
coming back.
You head inside, and it seems that Brian has made a pit stop as he is currently talking up some pretty handwoman that is currently cleaning up part of what looks to be a half-eaten meal on one of the tables. She seems to be giddy and laughing, and he's leaning over the table and kind of chatting her up.
Brian, is it?
Huh? What you want, dwarf?
Listen, I know you don't care to help us right now, but if you wouldn't mind telling me where we can collect this scroll so we can be on our way.
He kind of just sniffs his nose. Like, he gives you like a nasty sneer, but turns to the woman and gives her like a smile. And when he smiles, you can see like one of his teeth, like right here, is missing. And
Kinrava's going to go back to the cauldron quickly and grab the 2 pieces of the hag head and then wait at the door.
Okay. And as he smiles to the maiden, she kind of giggles and like picks up the rest of her stuff that she was cleaning and makes her way towards another room in the building. And he walks over to you. He like pulls up his breeches as he walks closer, and you can hear the sounds of his boots clunking against the wood as he makes his way towards you. And he says, "Here, which one do you want?" And he just reaches into his coat and he pulls out the scroll or the gray bag.
Look back at Kinrava.
Please get the scroll.
Roll, please.
He kind of like looks at you and he's like, "I wanted the bag anyways." He places the bag like to his side and he hands it, like he places the scroll out in front of him.
We'll just reach out, let him give it to me.
You reach out to grab or like put your hand towards the scroll and he goes, "Ah. Be careful now. Don't trust the dark ones." And he puts it in your hand and he kind of like
Grimly, you should come over.
Sometimes you need a little faith.
Grimly, you should come over here quickly. That's a bag of rats he still has on him.
Just head out.
You just see like a look of confusion. He goes, "What's she on about? An empty bag."
It's a bag of rats. You throw something out and it conjures rats.
He just kind of like looks down at the bag.
Oh, speaking of which, this is also for you, and she'll toss the 2 chunks of the hag head in there.
Ah.
Happy Rothgar's wake. And then she leaves.
You just hear,
Yep.
"Mother!" And then the door.
Thank you for that. That man is insanely annoying.
Right. Here's your scroll. Hope it's worth it.
I'll be honest with you, I'm entirely shocked it didn't explode with how he was handling it. This thing is highly dangerous.
Well, should we head to the White Lady Inn and wait on Iceheart?
It's best if we wait there. Don't get the feeling she's going to rush there. Besides, I do actually have something to speak with you all about there.
I have something that I need to speak to you guys about too.
Iceheart, you make your way back towards the city, or towards the main parts of the city. What are you doing? Where are you going? What's going on?
I'm going back to Imdra. As soon as I see her, my word carries little weight. I need something in writing in order to collect Molly and Sarah from the stables.
What did I tell you? They're worse than politicians. Those people at the stables. Anyways, yeah, no problem. And she'll reach in and she pulls out another coin, tosses it your way.
Grabs it. How long do you think it will be?
To be honest, we're already losing time due to the snow and the wind or any kind of substance around the body. Shouldn't be much longer. 10, 15 minutes before all evidence is blown away.
I'm going to the stables and then I'm bringing them right back here.
Sure. See you in a little bit then.
See you. Get off.
Back to the stables you go. Abel, Grimly,
I just
Kin.
walk through the door,
Okay, go ahead.
flick the coin at her.
Yep.
and go
Unknowing
collect the
to,
dogs
like, as you
without
kind of like
saying a word.
burst through the door, she just kind of like, she gets startled. You see her like jump as she was kind of like taking care of one of the animals there, and you toss the coin over to her and it like lands in front of her and like topples over in the snow, and she picks it up. She looks over at it and she goes, "They're yours."
They were originally.
She just kind of holds up her hands in defense.
She kneels in front of them.
You see they're happy as all get out to see you. One of them jumps up against the cage, everything like that. Molly is like first to come up and start licking your hands as you approach.
Sorry, guys. We're gonna have to go say goodbye to Ian. She grabs them, attaches a lead to each of them, and starts walking out.
Yeah.
She'll stop. Did you have anything else here with you?
Yeah, they brought his sled in as well.
Okay. Where is it?
We're right over with the rest of them. I can
Okay.
bring that out front if you want.
Please.
Yeah. You go, bring the sled out, or she brings the sled out front. Sarah and Molly are all giddy and want to play, and they're all jumping around and tackling each other in the snow and everything.
She kind of scritches them behind their ears. Hooks them up to the sleigh.
Yep.
And then leads them back.
And Kin, Leah, Grim, Abel, you make your way back towards the White Lady.
I'll go up to the proprietor and give her an extra gold piece and say, this is to keep quiet about which room I sleep in, please.
Sorry?
This is to keep quiet about what room I sleep in. Apparently people aren't too happy about newcomers being in town at the moment.
Oh, of course.
There has been another murder, and because me and my friends recently arrived, guess who's top of the suspect list?
Well, dearie, I don't need a gold piece for that if you want it.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure. I've made my yearly salary in 2 days in the past days. I don't need extra money unless you're, of course, just giving it to me for fun.
Thank you for that then, and she'll take the gold back then.
She gives you a wink and she says, "Still a silver piece to stay."
She'll give her 2 silver pieces.
She walks very timidly over to the wall, grabs the keys off, and hands you your keys.
Thank you.
Of course.
Let's meet up in our room if possible.
Do you think that Iceheart's gonna bury Ian now?
I don't think she would be allowed to right now. They need to investigate the body and everything around it. They'll likely handle funeral preparations tomorrow.
Alright.
All right.
Let's head up to our roof so we can talk with some bit of privacy without prying eyes around.
Yeah. The room is abuzz with people whispering and mumbling to each other as you all walk around unbeknownst to you. Just unknowingly, I mean. And you make your way upstairs.
Once up there, I'll wait for Iceheart to arrive.
Okay. Iceheart or Olano, you make your way back to the captain. You see
unhitch
the captain
Molly.
is just leaning now up against the wall, and she is taken a bit of like loose material from her pouch and stuffs it into a large pipe. Large being thick, not long, and a large pipe just in front of her, and she takes it and begins to try and light it with a small tinder box kind of like next to her. And you see like she's shaking.
Why are you shaking?
Like trying to... It's fucking cold out here.
Oh. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know how you bury your dead. Who would I go to for that?
She finally strikes it and takes a long pull from it. Can't even tell the difference between her normal breath and the smoke. But you see that she kind of looks over at the body and looks back at you, and she goes, "To be honest, we don't have any kind of funeral rites here or anything like that. Ever since the rhyme, with the sacrifices that are being made and people dying left and right due to the cold and going out on damned adventures to come back icicles. Where else are we gonna put him? Can't put him in the ground. Ground's too damn cold, too damn hard. But normally, you don't mind me being blunt, we just take him to the outskirts of town and let the critters handle the rest."
Well, I'm not doing that. There's a mountain that overlooks the town. He liked that spot. I'll be taking him there.
Okay, we finished all we can here. You see a bunch of like random militiamen kind of just walking up and down the area. People with poles kind of walking around. Looks like they're talking to people, like a few people.
Can you send word to the inn? Let my party... I'm going to be burying him. If they wish to say goodbye.
Yeah, they asked me to meet them there anyways. I'll send word. She kind of looks at you and looks back at... Looks at you, it looks back at the corpse and... Fuck. Walks away.
I'll go in and kneel beside the body, kind of gingerly putting my arms underneath.
You see Sarah and Molly run up in a very, of course, excited fashion, and then slowly, upon realizing like Ian laying on the ground, they kind of like begin to sniff around the area. Molly even licking upon his face.
She skips him up, carries him to the cart, puts him down. I call Molly and Sarah up to kind of lay on him so that they could say goodbye, and she'll pull the cart towards the mountain.
Molly and Sarah very graciously kind of settle down next to Ian's body on the cart in a bit of a U shape to spoon the outsides of his frozen body. And Abel and Grimly, as Kin and Leodin head up, you just barely catch the door opening and see Imdra kind of step inside as she kind of looks around. like, Abel.
I'll wave her down.
Friend. She, gonna bury Ian, was it? Gonna bury him up on a hill outside of town. I assume you know what that means. She said, if you guys want to say goodbye, now would be the time.
I'll stand up and I'll go retrieve Leodin and Kinrava.
You will go ahead. I'll get the cauldron up to our room and then I'll join you.
I want to go now.
Go on. You all go ahead. I'll get the cauldron up to our room and then I'll head over with you.
You see Kin very awkwardly like grabbing the cauldron,
She's
rolling it up until the
putting it on its
staircase.
side and just
That's what I'm
rolling
saying.
like that.
She's rolling it up until she gets to the stairs, and then eventually one stair, two stair, and just pulling
Pretty
it up
much.
the staircase.
Pretty much.
Eventually leading to the innkeeper basically telling somebody to help you out. So, but Leodin, Grim, Abel, you pass by the captain, and the captain of course goes to help Kin as well, by the way, as she's not too interested in going to this funeral, it doesn't seem like. But as stated previously, she said something about a hill outside of the city.
I know where we're going.
Right. By the way, Captain, Brian saw fit to take that bag. I don't know if he was allowed to. I figured I'd let you know.
Scumbag. Alright, thanks. I really hope he doesn't claim Easthaven law. Piece of shit.
I'll head out.
Alright. Abel, Grim, Leodin. You head out towards where you believe Olanu was speaking of previously. Olanu. You find it quite the task once you get to the location, as it was a bit of a climb to get to where is the top of this hill, unless you of course mean to bury him at the bottom. So you reach the hill. What would you like to do?
I'll drag the cart as far as I can up the hill. If I reach a part where I have to climb, I'll have to readjust so that I can carry the body and climb.
Yeah, without an issue, you pull the cart about halfway up this gigantic hill. And at this part, you basically can't go any further without taking Ian up over your shoulder and Fireman carrying him and grabbing the next part and pulling yourself up, and then more and more over until finally cresting over the top portion of this large hill, with Sarah and Molly easily bounding up and following you up this hill. You look down, and through the snow, the wind has seemed since cleared out and basically died down nearly completely. The snow very light, and you look downwards towards the bottom of the hill, and you see approaching Abel, Grimly, and Leodin from afar.
She's gonna gingerly put down Ian's body and begin clearing a patch in the snow, trying to get down to dirt, or as far as she can.
Yeah.
To try and give him a proper burial.
Yeah. From this area, because it's so high up, the wind seems to push a bit of the snow off the area. So it's really only about about 1.5 feet, maybe 2 foot deep of snow. It's exceptionally thin comparatively to the large open expanse that is the way here and in betweens and stuff. But yeah, you begin to dig, and you can easily see that the tree kind of sets off the height of the snow. You dig down about 2 feet total. While Olanu is digging, Abel, Grimly, and Leodin, you can make your way up. Kin, you obviously are able to pull the cauldron all the way up to your room, no issue, rolling it in.
Once
And-
it's all set up, I'll head over to there as well. Yeah.
Yeah, the captain will just say, I'll just wait for you guys to get back.
All right. Thank you, Captain.
I need a drink.
Don't we all?
You can start heading over there. You guys crest the top and you see Olanu very, furiously, digging through the snow.
I scratch Ollie and Sarah behind their ears, and then I go to help.
Yeah, Molly and
start.
Sarah. Molly and Sarah are literally sitting in tandem, one next to the other, and just staring at Olanu. And you go over to her.
See if you can find any rocks. Something to cover him with.
All right.
Abel,
I would
Grimly,
like to see if I can find some rocks.
Take.
what do you do?
I'm gonna take the cloak that I used to wear out of my pack and cover his body for the moment, just so that he's wrapped.
The tattered one?
The blue one that I used to wear before I got the wolf cloak.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I'll just cover his body, not his face.
Okay. Yeah, Ian was quite the skinny fellow, making it pretty easy to cover him. As he kind of lays down flat, it actually hovers arm to arm and leg to chest pretty easily.
I'll help find some rocks.
Abel?
Abel is standing maybe 15 feet away and is just watching.
Yeah. You notice out of the corner of your eye as a single dark entity trudges through the snow towards you all. And
Once
you can see shadows moving atop the top of the hill. You make your way up. Okay. Leodin, Grimly, and Olanu, you gather quite a bit of stones as you have to dig through the snow or just kind of move your feet along the base of the mountaintop, but you find a lot of loose stones that were buried under the snow pretty simply.
Lay him in the area that I cleared of the snow. And start just moving back and forth to try and cover him with stones.
It takes you a good minute, about 15 minutes or so of work to cover him up completely with stones. And
I'm helping.
yeah, and Leodin and Olanu, you finish up until finally the last stone is placed, covering up the top right portion of his forehead and his eyes that are closed.
Leodin, I don't know human rights. Would you mind?
Oh, sure. I take 2 gold coins out and I put them on his eyes. I don't know if do you know if you had any particular god or gods?
DM.
He
Would
was
I?
very much an atheist.
All right,
He was,
that's what I needed to know.
well, I guess not atheist. He was it agnostic?
Okay.
He's like fuck
And
the
you will
gods.
do.
So, normally, what would happen is those that would like to would say a few words about him. Would you like to say a few words about him, Iceheart? If you don't want to, I know that I want to.
Guess you weren't as sneaky as you thought you were.
So, Ian brought me up here to show me the prettiest place that he knew of. So I'm glad that he's going to get to stay here and see this, whatever his afterlife may be. You'll mind if I play a dirge for him?
Please.
Can you crest over the
my
top?
man.
I
Pull mine
stay
in.
quiet, but join up with the others and just nod my head to them quietly.
I pull my mandolin out and just start to play whatever comes to my heart at that moment.
As you play Ian's dirge, the night sky begins to fill with the nighttime aurora borealis, as you can see it roll across the sky towards you all. Being this high up, the aurora is what feels like but an arm's length away as it fills the air. You see a beautiful light show of greens and blues and even flares of pinks and purples. As snow lightly drifts down on each and every one of your heads, your cloaks. A soft sound of wind filling the air. You see soft drifts of snow flow over the top of the mountainside and kind of cascade down. The dead tree that grows atop this mountainside sways in the wind. And you begin to see, as Leodin plays, a small bit of a pinkish purplish, like magical smoke or essence that flows down from the aurora borealis itself and kind of covers the whole area in the purples and greens, flowing directly into Leodin's mandolin as she plays. And as her dirge comes to an end, the smoke and the lights, everything into the air in a circular fashion up towards the sky.
Alanu kneels next to the grave. I promise you, I will kill whoever did this. Their petty laws be damned. I will kill them if I find them. She stands up and walks away, calling Molly and Sarah.
Molly comes and Sarah just sits there kind of looking at the rocks. And just goes down to like a kneeling position, puts her chin against the ground.
Sarah, come.
She,
Stay
like,
here,
her
Val.
ears perk up. Runs towards you.
Oh,
Grimly,
boy.
Abel, Kin, Theoden. Anything else?
Kinrava's going to take out the quill again that she has and move over towards the dead tree. And she's going to write on there in, once again, purple, deep purple ink. Final rest in place of Ian, the start of all friendship.
Thank you.
As the letters make their way onto the tree in a magical fashion, the purple glow from the letters almost in a comparable or comparable fashion to the beautiful lights above that still flow effervescently across the sky. The letters shine bright upon the trees, dead trees' trunk. You look down at the stones and you already begin to see that the snow has begun to cover the rocks and the areas around it in but a light manner, but you know that within a matter of minutes this area will look almost as if untouched. And that's where we'll end today's session. So,
Y'all are messed up.
for those that are watching
Planning
on
this.
YouTube, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you being here. I know this was a sad one, but now it's time for vengeance. And we'll see that next week. So we'll see you guys next Saturday. Keep being your best self. Have a good day. Bye, guys.